Guys, it doesn't matter if it's popular. You should never, ever, ever be a geek or a nerd. You should not be this kind of person. It is a person with vain knowledge, who wastes his time and seems to forget that he's going to die someday. Now, why do I give such a violent exhortation not to be a nerd, even when it's so popular right now to be obsessed with Marvel movies and to have watched everything on Netflix? Well, we'll find out why in what a nerd actually is. A nerd is not somebody who knows a lot of things, and neither is a geek. These things are things that are objectively good and everybody respects. Nobody in their right mind goes and tells somebody who knows a lot of things objectively that are useful that they are useless and geeky and somehow lower in social hierarchy. That is ridiculous because most people know that knowledge is power. No, what makes somebody a geek is when they have lots of superfluous knowledge. Knowledge which is ultimately useless. Knowledge that doesn't actually integrate one further into their society, doesn't raise their understanding, and it doesn't help them to achieve practical goals like feeding their family. No, this is knowledge that has no use in itself. There is no use for exploring all of the extended universes of Star Trek and Star Wars. You will die someday. There is no use to memorising all of the trivia to do with the different Doctors in the Doctor Who series. Nobody cares how many hairs David Tennant had on his head when he was fighting against the Sycorax in the first season that he was involved with in Doctor Who. No one cares. It is a useless and vain thing to be engaged in. This is of course not me attacking culture at large. I think it's something that exists to bring people together and in a lot of cases to raise a person up, to make them better at their activities. There is a definite place for culture and for enjoyment. It enriches the soul and it makes the soul better able to attain the virtues, to look after their families and to attend to the needs that God has placed within their lives. And it helps somebody to be materially successful in a way that is in accordance with nature. There is nothing wrong with culture, but there is something very wrong with somebody who obsesses over the minutiae of such things. Like I said, no one cares about how many hairs David Tennant had during one particular episode of Star Trek. You should get out of bed and stop spending 8 hours a day watching Netflix. You will die someday. You should get out of bed and stop watching all of these movies that you've watched before. And in fact, you should probably stop watching most of the movies that are coming out now, because you have limited time on this earth. And how will you be able to explain when you meet St. Peter that you have spent so much time watching useless trash? Now, how do you get out of this? How would you say, if you are realising that this is actually a problem that you suffer in your life, how would you get out of this? Well, you need to find goals and ways of attaining to higher virtues. One of the ways that I think is very helpful is to learn a language. Go and learn Spanish. Fairly easy language, I've heard. Go and learn Latin, something that's a lot more difficult but is very fruitful. Go and learn philosophy, and go and learn theology. Go and learn science. And not in this kind of cringe way where you go, well, actually Black Mirror taught me all of this about AI. Well, first of all, no it didn't, right? It serves the same purpose at best of a YouTube channel where you watch videos on a particular topic and that teaches you. That doesn't teach you. That doesn't teach you at all. The better way to do it is to detach from the phone, to detach from the computer, and to sit and read a book. They even taught me when I was teaching at a university, and I will admit the research behind this is extremely shaky. They said that a person can learn better from a book than they can from a lecture, and my own personal experience bears that out. Yours might be different. But to simply rely on these sorts of funny mind experiments in movies as a way of actually teaching yourself a topic, this is a fallacy. Go and pick up good books and read them, and apply the skills that you learn in them. Why are you sat on your bum watching Netflix 8 hours a day? Why is it that you come home from work, you've had this whole time commuting, and then you just spend it dribbling away watching EastEnders? What a phenomenal waste of time. What are you actually gaining from that? Oh, well, you've gained relaxation. Well, go and find some other way, which is more dignified, of relaxing. Go and relax for something that will actually help you. Go and read the Bible. You know, the entire root of the society that you live in, I don't care if you're atheist. is in those scriptures. Go and read the commentaries on them. Those commentaries are often more directly contributive to the society than just the words you see on the page, because the interpretation of the words is often not what you're going to anticipate. These things are important. Go and learn a language. Go and practice some sort of sport. Go and pray. Go and take a piece of work and meditate it. Not the empty your mind cringe, but go and sit and think about it and talk to God about it. You have all these things that you could be doing, but instead you're wasting your time watching Netflix or binging on YouTube, or even worse, watching pornography. These things are a waste of time, and so is the vain knowledge that you get from these things. Knowing this knowledge will serve you in no way, and I would encourage you to just stop. Now, if you like what I'm producing here, please go onto my Patreon and provide some money. It helps to keep the lights on in this flat. I sell Latin readers. Of course, I mentioned Latin a lot in this video. On there, if you'd like to be able to read those, and otherwise, please like, subscribe, and especially share these videos. Thank you very much for watching.